with Jake. Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Takeover. My name's John Wright and tonight's episode is recorded with Jake Lasell. How you doing, Jake?
Hi there, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm good.
So we've got a show all about disability awareness, positivity and strategies for making the most of the world that you inhabit, and I guess being ambitious and not taking no for an answer. Are those the themes that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, definitely. That all wraps up straight away with that, definitely.
So we're recording this in your bedroom to start with. We might go outside because it's a lovely day as well. Just describe your setup here because this is quite epic.
Well, as a lot of people do know, if they know me from TikTok and Instagram and all the other social media, they know that I've got a gaming setup, which, I mean, I'm fond of doing a lot of gaming as well as a lot of other stuff as well. So
that requires a double monitor on the table there. We've got a steering wheel, gear stick changer, headphones, PC on the floor, colourful keyboard, massive telly behind you. Most importantly, gaming chair, so you're nice and comfy.
It has had better days, yeah. Especially, yeah.
What game? So presumably some driving games. What do you play? What are you into?
I play Euro Truck and GTA 5, and yeah, that's it really. I mean, I'm quite basic stuff, but I love just driving around and feeling the steering wheel and feeling the power go through it, really.
Okay, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about gaming as well. We've done. You've recorded some interviews, and as you say, people might be familiar from the social media content that you produce, so you're always documenting what you do, you're always out and about. We'll talk a little bit about going to college and things like that as well. Shall we introduce the first song though to get us underway? I think we should have Your Choice by U2. Do you want to introduce that?
Yeah, well, I mean, with music, I love all types of music, but them two, the song preferably is just about upbeat and up feeling how feelings are these days. And I mean, I'm quite upbeat with music, and with all kinds of music there's all different sets where maybe you have a mood for that time and vice versa, but that song really means a lot to me just in general.
Okay, so this is U2 and Beautiful Day.
Yeah.
Is a balloon shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend take you out of this place, someone you could lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel that it's a beautiful day to let it get away on the road, but you've got destination in the mind, in the maze of her imagination. Your love is clearing the sea out. See the bedroom fires at night. See the oil fields at first light. And see the bird with a leaf in her mouth. After the flood, all the colors came out. It was a beautiful day. So let it get away. Beautiful day. Touch me. Take me to that other place. Release me. I know I'm not a hopeless case. What you don't have, you don't need it now. What you don't know, you can feel it somehow. What you don't have, you don't need it now. Don't need it now. It was a beautiful day.
That was YouTube, Beautiful Day. You're listening to the Tuesday Takeover, me, Jake Lazelle, with a show called Understanding About Disabilities.
Tell me a little bit about yourself then, Jake, and the challenges that you have.
All about me, basically. I've got cerebral palsy, I've got brain damage and suspected autism and asthma. But the thing is, right, is that I don't let that get in my way, because I mean I can do all sorts of things. I cycle, I play table tennis, I go to college, and to be honest with you, is that I focus on the positives. I mean, there's always days where you have negatives and stuff, but there's always a lot of more positives than negatives, and negatives can be turned into positives. It's just seeing it in a different way.
Can they?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I mean,
I certainly can.
all the videos I've seen that you've produced, you are smiling. We've got some serious conversations to come a little bit later on in the show, but I guess that's the essence of what you want to get across, is that people, like you say, you can always look at what you can't do.
If it's straight, because I mean things can be straightforward, like straight negative like that, but then seeing it in a different way, maybe finding a different strategy, a different way of looking at it. Because I mean, as they always say, there's people worse off than you. That's what I've been told so many times in my life.
Yes, there are, and that will always be the case, but that doesn't stop you being frustrated maybe by your circumstances or something like that.
No, which is fair enough, having that anger thing, but the other thing is seeing it as sort of letting go of that, but also obviously we all need to have that anger so we can get it out. But if, like, I mean, for instance, if I need to cool down or just chill, is go for a walk, play table tennis or cycle, or even listen to music. Like, I mean, I do a lot of lives, doing music lives and stuff, and I jog about like a plum. But yeah, in other words.
Does anyone not jog about like a plum? But that's a different show.
That's a good way,
question.
But yeah.
Okay, so you've got those kind of strategies at the heart of it. How old are you?
20 now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's incredible.
So plenty to do. We'll talk a little bit about what you do at Suffolk New College as well. And I guess the power of social media will come across, because I mean we're recording this in a relatively remote bit of Suffolk.
Yeah.
Maybe many years ago you would be quite isolated here, but actually you seem to have a huge number of friends and interactions right across the country.
Yeah, and the reason why, sorry, I know this part wasn't the plan, but the reason why I done Understanding About Disability Awareness is because the point I'm trying to make out there is that disabilities is part of you, is part of your own identity, and no one can take that away from you. And it doesn't matter if it's hidden or physical, you're born to be awesome, and we're born to shine bright as well. And that's the thing, people in general need to see that and focus on the inside instead of the outside. And if they can find that, that is the best way of looking at it.
That leads us very nicely on to Bobby McFerrin. Tell me why you chose this.
It's a good song. I love that song as well. And it's all of these songs which I put is basically part of my life, really. I mean, I always love being always happy in the mood. If obviously we always have bad days, but there's so many different songs for that as well. But with this is that I'm always, when I do lives, I'm always happy because I'm doing things which I want to do in life and achieving the goals which I want to achieve and seeing the positives more so than negatives. But yeah.
Can you whistle?
Yes.
Let's whistle along to this then. Bobby McFerrin and Don't Worry, Be Happy on the Tuesday Takeover.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord say your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. Don't worry, be happy. Hey, I give you my phone number. When you worry, call me. I make you happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no gal to make you smile. But don't worry, be happy. Cause when you worry your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, don't worry, don't do it. Be happy. Put a smile on your face. Don't bring everybody down like this. Don't worry. It will soon pass, whatever it is. Don't worry, be happy.
That's a good song, isn't it? Bobby McFerrin and Don't Worry, Be Happy on the Tuesday Takeover. We'll be back with my co-host for tonight, Jake Lazelle, shortly. It is 21 minutes past 6, though. Time for a traffic and travel update tonight from Harriet Catchpole. Evening.
Thank you, John. Not much to report. On the A134 towards Beccles Road, there is partially blocked in both directions, slow traffic due to an accident on the B1136. Also on the A14, there is slow traffic due to roadworks eastbound on Mill Road. Elsewhere on the A11 southbound, there is slow traffic and queuing on the roads due to an oil spillage towards the Elvedon Junction. And on Abbey Road towards Leiston, there is slow traffic due to an accident. However, on all public transport, it is looking good and nothing to report. I will have your next update in 30 minutes. If you see any new updates, please give us a call and let us know.
Call 0800 141 2121.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
Hello, you're listening to the Tuesday Takeover with me, John Wright, and my Takeover co-host today is Jake Clazell. He's 20 years old. He lives in Brent Ely in rural Suffolk, in a beautiful place. We've just come outside from your gaming room into the garden. It is a gorgeous sunny day. We can just hear birds. We can hear someone having a go at their lawn. We've got just a gentle swoosh of grass and tree leaves. It's nice, isn't it?
It is, it's lovely. Certainly peaceful, surprisingly.
But as we were talking about, disability awareness and making the most of your world. Being isolated can be a challenge if you want to go to college, if you want to not rely on a car. How is life for you out here?
Well, cycling is one of the transport of getting out, which is very important. But going to college, I have to get a taxi to get here, but it's incredible how people can try and find us. But yeah, there's the one part about it, is that a lot of people can't find us due to the maps. Still, that is the same issue, but yeah.
But you get a taxi to college, so you go to college in Ipswich.
That is true.
Tell me a bit about the courses that you've done there and how that's been.
So I have got a course which is level 1 ICT, and I've been doing that for now a year. I did go to a previous college before that, and I've got quite a few distinctions and passes and merits. But to be honest with you, is that I have been so focused on education, because it is a part to lead down straight away so you can get a good job and stuff like that, and that is what I want to do in ICT because I love software. But yeah, I've done my own web browser before at home, designed it myself, and a website which I've also created for disability awareness, and focusing on it, and I'm very good with technology, and I've got t-shirts, I've got all kinds of different things which I do, and I've got massive QR code at the back.
So we may as well plug the website address.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, and I'm trying to get people to notice it and stuff, which would be fantastic, and helping us out, and that'd just be incredible to build a wide range of people around there, because I'm trying to spread awareness, and plus it's for everyone to have a better understanding for all different genders and all of the other areas.
So what's interesting about the world of social media is the way that people who otherwise wouldn't have a voice can find communities and find support, but also find an audience and be able to kind of share their story and their perspective. And kind of noticing what you post on TikTok is a really interesting it's a really interesting tool that you have, but it's not without its problems, and some people can be quite nasty online.
Yeah.
If you post a lot, you're kind of exposing yourself, the world that you live in, and things, and that can be quite difficult. Tell me about how you kind of developed your voice on TikTok.
So, well, I started off like everyone else, 0 followers and stuff like that, and I was doing loads of videos because, as a lot of people know from as a lot of videos I've done, I was in a special needs school for quite a long time, and I've seen all different disabilities, physical, hidden, and both, all together. And the thing is, right, is that it's incredible really, because I've got loads of friends, and they're in wheelchairs, they're in standing frames, they're all doing all different things, as well as they're always happy as well. And it's incredible how they're happy in so many different ways. And in my opinion, I wouldn't change anyone's disability because, as I said earlier, it makes you the person you are today.
Okay, well, let's hear one of the friends that you've made online. So this is Debs. So how did you meet her and develop this relationship on TikTok?
So we were on TikTok and she was listening to my live, and then next minute we started chatting on the comments, and then she joined my live and started talking, really. And that was basically it. And we just relaxed and chilled, and I was understanding and she understood me, really. So it was very nice.
Okay, let's hear a little bit of one of the videos that you've made together. This is Debs on TikTok.
I'm Deborah. I have CP down my right side of my body, my right arm and my right leg. I've gone through 21 operations from the age of 7. I'm not one to give in. I'm a fighter. I've got asthma, diabetes, arthritis, spondylosis of the spine. But I'm not giving in. I'm a fighter. What you see is what you get, and there's no show. If you don't like what you see, then that's up to you then, isn't it? But I'm happy with being me. Like everybody's happy in their own bodies. But when you think about it, there's a lot of people don't like to talk about disabilities, or once you start talking about disabilities, people are ridiculing you and calling you different names and horrible names. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me anymore because I've had to live with it all my life, and I'm fighting on and I'm not giving in. So if anyone doesn't like what they see, it's tough because you're not going to get anything different from me.
I like that, Debs. I really do. And that's the thing. It's quite amusing, actually. But in some cases, I'm just shocked that we both met, right? And we both have cerebral palsy on the right side, which I have met a few friends at schools and colleges which have got cerebral palsy, but they can be either side. It can be left, right, or even advanced where they're in a wheelchair. But yeah, it is incredible to see so many lovely people, and a lot of people don't focus on what's inside that counts, because the thing is, right, is that it doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair, if you've got all these different disabilities, if they're advanced, if they're moderate, if they're in so many different ways. But the thing is, right, is that we are born to be awesome, not perfect. And on top of that, we're all human beings. We're living our best life.
And we're fighting.
Aye, definitely. I agree.
We're fighting our disability. Anyone wants to talk to me about my disability, you're welcome to talk about my disability. But don't start calling me stupid names, like the names that I hate. Because it's not nice being called certain names, and it's very hurtful. So please keep your opinions to yourself. If you want to know my business, all you've got to do is come on my chat and talk.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a battle. You can just talk to me and ask me anything you like within reason. It doesn't matter. I drive. I'm happy driving. I go anywhere driving. Doesn't matter where I go. I still drive. I have bad days. I have IBS. The IBS takes over my life. I can arrange to go out with somebody. It was like last week. I was supposed to have gone to physio and I couldn't go because my IBS kicked in. So I couldn't go out anywhere. So I had to ring the hospital to let them know that I couldn't make the appointment. And they were fine with it. But it does take over my life. Yeah. I've planned to do stuff and whatnot, go out with my sister-in-law, go out with my niece, and I've had to cancel with them because my IBS is bad. But I'm not giving in, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
You're amazing, Deb, you are. And that's the thing, right, is that we're fighting until the end, literally. We're fighting literally to get what what we need, and basically there's no point having because a lot of people don't understand disability awareness. They don't even understand
No,
so many disabilities. And the one thing which a lot of people should focus on is if you don't know the disability, ask that person. But if that person don't want to say it, don't force them.
exactly.
And on top of that, if they just, because it would probably be a good idea, if they don't want to talk about their own specific disability, they may
Yeah,
just give
yeah,
you the name and you do
yeah,
research. But
yeah,
it would be a great
exactly.
idea to carry on, and because the thing is, right, I've been asked so many times what is my disabilities and stuff. I've been called all different names. I've been bullied. I've been shoved. You name it, I've had it because I have. I've had my fair share of people come to me and being horrible to me. But the thing is, right, is that I'm not going to give in because they don't understand what I've been through day in, day
Yeah,
out, because they don't wake up the
exactly.
same as I do, in the same way
Yeah.
as I do, rather.
It's like when you said that last night on your live. One night you get no sleep, and the next night you get 11 hours
Mm,
and stuff. I wish I got that.
yeah,
I'm sitting up at blinking 3, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get to sleep.
yeah, that's what I normally do.
Yeah,
And then I
it's
ended
not
up not
easy.
sleeping at all.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
not been easy at all. Everybody thinks, well, what's CP? What's it got to do with your health? What's it got to do with you? Why can't you sleep? It's the pain that you go through of a night. You can't get comfortable. You try and turn either way. You can't lay on your back because your legs get stiff.
yeah,
You can't lay on your hip because your hip's got arthritis and your legs are throbbing. It hasn't been easy for me. I know it hasn't been easy. It's not been easy for a lot of people.
mm,
But at the end of the day, it's who I am, and I would gladly give my disability up for somebody else. I really would.
yeah,
Because I've even said to somebody, or somebody turned on and said to me, because I've got scars, I like this dress I've got on, well, I've got a scar on my chest. A person come up to me and turned around and said to me one day, excuse me, love. I said, yeah, can I help you? Can you cover up your scar? So I said, what do you mean cover my scar? They said, you shouldn't be showing your scars like that. And I went, it's who I am. So are you telling me that I've got to cover myself up because I'm showing my scars? And she said, yes. And I thought, there's no way I'm doing that. I said, I've got scars everywhere. Why
mm,
should I hide them for you? At the end of the day, do you buy my clothes? No, you don't. Now, if you were buying my clothes, then you'd have a reason to talk about it. But because you don't buy my clothes, you can go and do one.
So that was Jake, my co-host for tonight's Tuesday Takeover, chatting with Debs, one of the people he is friends with on TikTok, talking about, well, their situations and their attitudes. So again, accepting yourself and, not having to pretend to be anyone that you aren't. It's interesting, so she was talking about people being very judgmental about her scars at the end.
yeah,
Then it always amazes me when you hear stories like that, because that's, it just would never occur to me to be so rude or mean to someone, but clearly some people are. Have you had people give you unsolicited opinions?
yes. I've had people say quite a few things to me that I shouldn't be cycling due to I've got asthma as well as cerebral palsy, and just like previously I've had people bullying me from schools and not the school which I was at recently, but the previous school before that, and it does get at the back of your mind really, because that you're trying to live your life. You don't need people just being horrible and judgmental towards you, and if they can't just accept you for who you are as a person, then just get out of the life. What is the point of that negativity if you can't be just positive and understanding instead of being just annoying in a way where...
Well, and people feeling that their opinion matters, or that they should put their their nose into other people's business. I mean, her comments about, so she's, you know, would swap some of the pain and inconvenience of her disability, and I think that's perfectly understandable. You've spoken about how it's part of you, so actually you don't want to change yourself, and that's a theme from lots of other people I've spoken to over the years, that they, you know, I guess it's like having regrets over you know, changing decisions you made in the past. You never know how the world would work out, so you don't know what you would be like if you had been born slightly different, or if you know, one thing had happened and not another, and you don't want to wish yourself away, you know, just so that you can play table tennis better or whatever.
No, and the thing is, right, is that with me, I mean I was very harsh towards myself, but before, and it's, I mean, I can still play games and stuff like that, and I can do the things I love doing, which is talking to people in general, if it's by, because there's a lot of ways you can talk to people, if it's by eye gaze, communication book, sign language. There's so many different ways, and I've got family which are deaf as well, and they're incredible, and it's like we should be more understanding, not to be harsh towards them. And like, I mean, as I said, we're born to shine bright, and we're trying to make the best of life, and we don't need people to be criticising us on everything we do for who we are as a person.
Well, no one's going to criticise you for your playlist for the show tonight, because we've had some top tunes already. Let's have another one. This is Soul by Lee Brice. Tell me about this.
Oh, wow. Well, basically, this song, it means a lot, because I actually found this song with a TikTok friend of mine, which is Huck. And she's fantastic. And, I mean, she's had challenges in her life as well. And she's incredible, and I love that song so much, because the upbeat, the positivity, the voice of Lee Brice is just fantastic.
Let's hear it now on the Tuesday Takeover.
Your body's got me weak. You're Mozart in the sheets. You make a sinner out of me. I'ma need a priest, and I'll be singing Holy Mother of Moses. I just wanna buy you roses, open every door that closes, and kiss you from your head to your toes. I like your soul, baby. You got that heart made of gold, baby. I'm gonna love you till I'm old, baby. I just wanna be your baby. I like your soul. I like your soul. I like your soul. I like your soul. Don't need to be undressing to feel like you're impressing. Must have died and gone to heaven. Gonna take me to confession. Give me fire. Yeah, you got me singing Holy Mother of Moses. I just wanna buy you roses, open every door that closes, and kiss you from your head to your toes. I like your soul, baby. You got that
You're listening to the Tuesday Takeover with me, John Wright, and Jake Lazelle. We're recording tonight's episode in and around Jake's home village of Brent Ely in the Suffolk countryside. We've just come slightly down the road and we're sat on the bench outside the village hall. There are some stunning old Tudor buildings and thatched cottages and beautiful, beautiful scenery. I mean, this is a lovely part of the world to live. Also, today everyone is mowing their lawn, so we'll run away from the sound of the sound of lawnmowers. Do you want to introduce our next piece, Jake?
Yep. So this is from Tom Hunt. He is the MP of Ipswich at the age of 12. He was diagnosed with dyslexia and dyspraxia, and he had the reading and writing age of an 8-year-old. I spoke to him the other day about his experiences and how that has shaped his attitude as an MP.
I really struggled at school, particularly in sort of early years. I don't think the situation was helped when I was 31st of August. So I started school, when I'd literally just turned 4. With a learning disability, so I don't think that helped, and I ended up repeating reception, which is pretty unusual. I mean, reception's not overly taxing, so it's pretty unusual to repeat reception, which I did. So yeah, I think I just got used to struggling at school. I didn't really know what the issues were that I had. I was never good at school. I was always sort of felt a long way behind. I was a long way behind. And I'd sort of at school, I'd be warned about how far behind I was and how I needed to try and improve, but I never really took it that seriously. I was more interested in sport and things like that. But I think it was when I was sort of 11, 12, but that it really sort of got more, I was basically, they said to me, like, if you don't make some significant improvements now, you're going to have to leave the school. You can't stay at the current school. And they said that I had I was 12, I had a reading writing age, I think, of an 8-year-old. So I was a long way behind. And then I was diagnosed with dyslexia and dyspraxia. And then actually from that moment on, when we found out what I had, I started to get a lot more support, specialist support. I was very lucky to get that support. And then I've really begun to sort of turn things around. And then actually by the time I was doing my GCSEs, I did quite well. I mean, I did slightly better at A-levels. I mean, I ended up doing a history and politics degree. I mean, I ended up doing a master's at Oxford in Russian history, which was slightly unusual, really. But so I ended up actually, when I finally got the support I needed, I ended up being able to. And actually, the longer I've known that I've got dyslexia and dyspraxia, the longer I've got to learn about it, the more I've become aware not just of the challenges, but actually some of the benefits of being neurodiverse, to the point now where probably, and actually you don't stop being dyslexic and dyspraxic when you're an adult. You live with it for the rest of your life. So there continues to be tasks that I struggle with, that I, physical tasks more often than not, that I struggle with. But having said all of that, if somebody had a magic wand and said that they could wave it, and I would no longer be dyslexic, I would no longer be dyspraxic, I'd say don't wave the magic wand, because actually, I can now see benefits of it. And I think being a non-conventional thinker, seeing things differently, is actually a good thing. If you get the support you need, it can become a good thing. If you don't get the support you need, it's deeply challenging. So so one of the things that I've, the other thing is, I'll give you some examples. I mean, I'm dyslexic, but to be honest with you, I think my dyspraxia has probably had more of a bearing on me, and continues to have more bearing on me. I couldn't do my shoelaces until I was 14. I couldn't do a tie until I was probably into my mid-20s. And actually, there's still things occasionally that I come across. Like, I've been in the army, parliamentary army scheme, and we've been having to do sort of knots and things like that. And we've got this complicated belt which I can't seem to put on. And then there's I've never quite been able to even put my duvet into the bed cover. But I've now discovered there's coverless duvets. So that's been a big help. In essence, my view is that, I had to work very hard to overcome some of those disabilities. But to be perfectly honest with you, I was incredibly lucky to get the opportunities that I got and the support that I got to be able to then overcome. So, and my sense is that there's a huge number of young people who were in exactly the same position that I was in, but they didn't get the support that I got. So in essence, I want to try and campaign to make it so that every neurodiverse individual, every neurodiverse young person, every neurodiverse adult can get the support they need to achieve their full potential. And the benefits of that aren't just to do, yes, of course, that's beneficial for the individual in question, it's beneficial for their families, for their loved ones, but it's actually also very beneficial for society, because we don't want to miss out on the talents and the creativity of neurodiverse individuals. So that's my feeling, and I've done lots of things. I try to, on the education committee, I've tried to push for earlier diagnosis. I've tried to push for more funding, and also for changes for teacher training, so that we don't just have more specialists, but also every regular teacher has more of a general awareness of all types of capacity. I've also tried to look at things like the Ofsted and the way schools are inspected, to put more of a premium on being first class when it comes to SEND support. And something else I've been getting involved in has been prison education, because we found out when I was in the education committee that about almost half of prisoners have got some kind of learning disability, which goes down to my point, which is that if you don't put the resources up early, you don't put the investment in early, then not only do you miss out on the talents of many neurodiverse individuals, but sadly, some of them can end up in the criminal justice system. So we've managed to, I put in a recommendation that every prison has a neurodiversity manager, which wasn't the case beforehand. So there was only enough neurodiversity managers to cover about 4 prisons, whereas now the government are rolling out a neurodiversity manager for every prison. So that's quite good, but there's a huge way to go, because and we know in Suffolk in particular there's challenges of SEND provision. So I'd be interested to hear about what your experiences are.
So, well, basically, I mean, I've got cerebral palsy, I've got asthma, and I've also got brain damage due to when I had a stroke in my mum's wound at the time. That's caused cerebral palsy due to the oxygen supply was cut off. But I mean, I love all sorts of things. I mean, I love technology. I love sports. I love sports. I mean, I used to run a lot I've been called a lunatic, running like a lunatic, but I love doing so much stuff. And I mean, a lot of people have noticed it, but there's always people obviously going to say, oh, you can't do that because you don't have that, and you need to get that. And because I mean, I'm not really great with maths. I'll be honest with you.
I'm very bad at maths.
I'm bad at maths. I mean, I know the basics, but I mean, English need to work on still, but it's like, I mean, I love all sorts of stuff. I mean, I've designed the own website, which is understandingaboutdisabilities.co.uk, and I sell products on there. I've created that from scratch. I pay for that on my own money monthly as well, and I've got a massive QR code at the back of the t-shirts and stuff and the cups. And my point I'm trying to make is that I want to make disability awareness open up like a jam jar, because it should be out there.
Definitely, yeah.
It should be in schools, it should be in colleges, it should be in universities. And my plan, I air quotes, I want to be able to go in schools, colleges and universities and ask people all around the world, as well as explain about my own disabilities, but also ask people if they want to talk about their own disabilities. But on top of that, I think it's always a good idea to not just put everyone in the class and think it's perfectly fine. They'll just automatically say stuff, which possibility they will, possibility they won't. But majority of the time they probably won't, due to it's personal and it's very important to them. But that some people have not even been diagnosed yet until later in life.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to come to terms with as well, because I'm suspected autistic, but still being diagnosed, trying to get diagnosed, you would say. But I mean, there's so many things that people think and put labels on that person, and then it just gets overbearing to that person, and they think right, well, that person's got that person's got that, but then it doesn't change the fact they can do incredible things. Just literally, they more focus on fixating on the disabilities instead of the actual achievements and stuff that they can actually do.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more, really. And I think I think diagnosis is obviously vitally important, because until you know what issues you've got, it's difficult to really know what to do. So you've got to, and actually, I mean, I imagine you've probably spent some time understanding and reading about, cerebral palsy and autism, and to try and in doing that, you help better understand yourself. And certainly I've spent some time reading about things like dyspraxia, and all of a sudden everything makes sense, and I'm thinking, well, that's just completely me. But I think you're absolutely right. I think we've got to be positive, and I think we shouldn't talk about and in fact, maybe even the word disability maybe needs to be reformed, because disability implies that it's almost, it's right, it's a challenge. So having cerebral palsy, having autism, having dyspraxia, having dyslexia, it's a challenge to have those things, but it's not necessarily a negative. And I think actually, I think difference is good. I think we've all got all of our brains are wired slightly differently, and I think that and I think that's being unconventional is good, and I think being creative is good.
That's Ipswich MP Tom Hunt in conversation there with my Tuesday Takeover co-host Jake Lazelle, talking about disability, ability and the importance of diagnosis. We'll have more from Mr. Hunt later on in the programme. It is 7 minutes to 7. Let's catch up with travel across Suffolk and Norfolk. Here's Harriet Catchpole. Good evening.
Thank you, John. Not much to report. On the A143 towards Beccles, the roads are now closed in both directions due to an accident from the B1136. However, in the middle of Norwich is all looking clear. Elsewhere on the A11 southbound, there is slow traffic and queuing on the roads due to an oil spillage towards Elvedon Junction. And on Abbey Road towards Leiston, there is slow traffic due to an accident from Owners Lane. But Ipswich is looking all clear, and all public transport is looking good and nothing to report. If you see any new updates, please give us a call and let us know.
Call 0800 141 2121.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
Good evening, it's a Tuesday Takeover. My name's John Wright. I'm delighted that the show is co-hosted by Jake Lazelle. He's got his own website, understandingaboutdisabilities.co.uk. You can also find him on the socials, including TikTok, where he's quite prolific in sharing little kind of snippets and stories about his life. Some more about disability awareness and conversations around that in the next hour of the show. We're planning through until kind of July, August time on the Tuesday Takeover. So if you haven't been on the radio and you fancy having a go, do get in touch. Time's running out before changes are afoot. I'm at JournoJohn on Twitter and Instagram, or you can send an email to me, john.wright2@bbc.co.uk. It could be about anything that you're interested in or passionate about. If you can put together some friends, some conversations and select some songs, 2 hours of the radio could be yours. Later on today, we'll be sharing some brand new music created in Suffolk and Norfolk, courtesy of our Record of the Week from BBC Music Introducing. And we'll be showing and telling, and I have got actually quite an exciting show and tell. It sounds like this. And it cost me £4. But I think that's £4 well spent. More of that on the way. Let's have this, though, from Coldplay and Beyonce. This is Hymn for the Weekend on the Tuesday Takeover. News on the way.
Life is a drink and love.
me shoot across the Let me shoot across the sky. Let me shoot across the
That's Coldplay and Beyonce with Hymn for the Weekend.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,
Play BBC Radio Suffolk.
and on your radio.
The sound of Suffolk is
BBC Radio Suffolk.
At 7 with the BBC News, I'm Mark Summers. A coroner's concluded Nicola Bully, who went missing while walking her dog by the River Wyre in Lancashire, died accidentally after falling into cold water. Dr James Adderley said the mother of two didn't have any desire to take her own life in January. Her death led to conspiracy theories on social media, something her family's lawyer, Terry Wilcox, speaking after the hearing, said needs to stop.
We encourage people to look at the facts, the evidence which is being heard during the inquest and the conclusion reached by the coroner, to ignore any amateur views and opinions and be mindful of the impact words bring.
The Royal College of Nursing has announced that there will be no more strike action by its members in England after not enough of them voted in a ballot for industrial action. A majority of those who did vote backed continuing their dispute, but the turnout was below the legal threshold needed for the walkouts to continue. The chief executive of Thames Water, which has 15 million customers across London and the South East, has stepped down. Sarah Bentley gave up her bonus this year because of the company's environmental and customer performance, but that was criticised by the GMB union as a flimsy PR stunt, as her pay still doubled to £1.5 million. The England cricket captain Ben Stokes has insisted his team wants to be more diverse and inclusive after a report found widespread racism, sexism and classism in the sport. The 2-year investigation was ordered after the ex-Yorkshire player Azim Rafiq spoke about the racism he'd encountered at the club. The England and Wales Cricket Board has issued an unreserved public apology for its failings. Mr Rafiq says he has some hope, but also some concerns.
I think it's very important that it's done properly and organically, as opposed to what's always been done, which has been PR initiatives and, tick boxing. So I think it's really important that what change looks like is gotten right. Otherwise, we're going to be here again.
The ECB has recommended that Yorkshire are fined £500,000 and face a hefty deduction in points across all formats for their handling of the case. A guitar maker from Herefordshire saw one of his creations take centre stage at Glastonbury. It's after Richard Fortus from Guns N' Roses chose Neil Iverson's studio to make one for him for the band's headline set on Saturday night. Neil says he couldn't believe it.
He was talking about how he liked my designs and would like to try one. And so I built him one to his spec. We met up and he tried it. Luckily, he loved it. The wife and I were sat in front of the telly. And lo and behold, second song in, he uses a guitar I built for him. I just stood there with my head in my hands for like 5 minutes.
And finally, the former Manchester United and England footballer Gary Neville is joining Dragon's Den as a guest dragon for the next series. The ex-player has a business portfolio that spans property, hospitality, education, media and sport. That's the latest. You're up to date. It's just coming up to 3 minutes past 7.
The Tuesday Takeover. The sound of Suffolk.
and all the music you love. BBC Radio Suffolk.
Good evening, John Wright here. Hope you're doing all right. Top tunes on the show tonight. It's S Club 7, Don't Stop Moving.
Yeah, come on. DJ got the party started, there's no end in sight. Everybody's moving to the rhythm that's inside. It's a crazy world, but tonight's the right situation. Don't get left behind. I can feel the music moving through me everywhere. Ain't no destination, baby.
S Club 7, Don't Stop Moving. Good advice in most situations. Thank you very much. More top tunes on the way. It's John Wright with a Tuesday takeover. If you're new to the programme, welcome. You're more than welcome. Each week it's a different show, basically. I work with someone, a person or a group, to do a show about the thing that they're interested or passionate about. Tonight, my co-host is Jake Lazell. We recorded conversations at his hometown of Brent Ely, near Sudbury in Suffolk. It's all about raising awareness about different disabilities and staying positive despite various setbacks that life may throw at you. So lots of tunes to reflect that and more conversations on the way, including a second part of the chat that Jake did with Ipswich MP Tom Hunt. So he has dyspraxia and dyslexia. Was undiagnosed when he was at school, and before that he really struggled. He's gone on to study at university and now is an MP. So interesting conversation between Jake and Tom. Plus we'll be showing and telling a bit later on and finding out some exciting things to do with you and your family during the summer holidays. My thanks to Sam Day for sitting in last week. He co-hosted along with the East Anglian Air Ambulance team. They had a lot of fun. They love a quiz. The East Anglian Air Ambulance, they love a quiz. If you didn't hear that last week, then do listen back on BBC Sounds. That was Sam Day sitting in with the East Anglian Air Ambulance Tuesday takeover. Right, more from Jake in a moment after this. Good evening, you're listening to the Tuesday Takeover, recorded with Jake Lazelle, who is a disability awareness campaigner. He's 20 years old, he goes to college in Ipswich, and he's started his own website, understandingaboutdisabilities.co.uk. What do you want people to understand?
Well, as I've always said, is accepting that person for who they are, and not just because of their disabilities, but for them, for their self, because we're all born to shine bright, and we're all human beings, and all of us should be accepted for that, because no one should judge us just because of we've got different disabilities in all different ways. Some may be hidden, some may be visible, but no one should be judged because of that.
So we heard in the last part of the show your conversation with Ipswich MP Tom Hunt. We're going to return to that. There's more to discuss there. But having it would be very easy for him to put all of his struggles at school behind him now that he's an MP and pretend that everything is fine. But there is a confidence now of people talking about their own experiences in a way that, you know, I think has changed quite significantly in the last 5-10 years, and that enables people to then talk about their own experiences and come forward and say, yes, that happened to me, or this is probably what my family was like, although we didn't get a diagnosis. And you're part of that voice, the very public platform that you have with your TikTok videos and documenting, you know, your day-to-day life. You will never know the impact that has on someone watching, someone listening.
Because as they say, you're talking towards an audience, but then some of the audience don't pick up on it, or they do pick up on it, but then you don't realise how the impact. I certainly agree, because I mean it's fascinating how many people go on TikTok nowadays, but there's a lot of people do it for fun and do it for serious chats. And I mean, this one with disability awareness, I mean, we always have, I mean, I do music lives, which I love listening to, all different music, all different eras.
So when you do a music live, what does that entail? You're sat there in your set up in the bedroom, listening to music, and people listen along with you? Or?
Yeah, it's that as well, and requesting songs, as well as me, as I said earlier, jogging like a plum, in other words. But yeah, I mean, that's part of my life, really, so I quite enjoy it, and I find just being myself is part of what I should be doing. I shouldn't be pretending to be someone else, because I'm not.
And that honesty, like you say, you don't know who will see that and what impact it will have, but just the steady narrative of, this is me, I have, you know, these circumstances, this disability, this is how I manage that so that I can still do as much as I want. You know, that is a really positive message to reinforce.
Yeah, I certainly do try that, because I mean, I may have suspected autism, asthma, brain damage, cerebral palsy, but I can still do all the things if I put my mind to it, like everyone else can.
Okay, let's have another song. We had Pharrell Williams just now. Let's go for a James Blunt. Do you want to dedicate this to anyone?
No, it's basically it's Everyone's Beautiful, and
we're dedicated to everyone.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
There's a James Blunt and You're Beautiful on the Tuesday Takeover.
My life is brilliant. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man, but I won't lose no sleep on that, 'cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do.
that was James Blunt on the Tuesday Takeover with me, Jake Dazelle, with a show called Understanding About Disabilities. Let's return to the conversation with Ipswich MP Tom Hunt, who himself has dyslexia and dyspraxia. We have been talking about the needs for support in education and more awareness generally, and also how neurodiverse people can perform better in some jobs.
Being autistic can be a great advantage because you see things others don't. And I think it's a good thing. So I don't want neurodiverse individuals, such as yourself, to feel as though the best you can possibly hope for is just to tread water. It's because we want everyone to be ambitious. And what you've achieved, you've come up with an idea which shows great creativity, ingenuity, and it should be celebrated. And I think having different disabilities should be celebrated. And I think I'm not being I don't want to be non-realistic. Clearly, it presents major challenges. But given the right support, I think most people will be surprised at how much people can achieve.
And that's why we've got a sort of slogan where it says, born to be awesome, not perfect. A lot of people don't want to be labelled, and that shouldn't be the case. And people don't see, because the thing is with certain disabilities, they're all genetically, it's complicated, I'll be honest with you. All of them are complicated in their own way. But the thing is, right, people pick up on different things. People don't like the same things as everyone else. It's the same as foods, drinks, you name it. But the thing is, right, is that we're meant to be educated in this certain way which would suit us. We're there for a reason to be taught to learn. But and I'm not blaming the schools or anything like that, or students or anything like that. I'm just stating it as it is. And so if this comes out wrong, but I think it should be more known. Disability should be more taught in schools, colleges and universities, because it would be more beneficial for the students as well as the teachers to have a bit of knowledge. Because, I mean, it would give them a lot less bullying in schools and colleges because they would have that much stronger knowledge. As the students, teachers and staff and all of them would be beneficial and helpful, because it's just like, it's crazy. Because, I mean, I was in a special needs school for so long, and I mean, I had absolutely incredible time, because I went to a primary school as well, but we couldn't really work with them because it didn't work really well. But the special needs school was absolutely incredible. And I mean, that is still close to my heart as well, because, I mean, they gave me the best years that I ever had.
Where was it?
Tommy Wolsey Ormiston Academy.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant.
They're incredible. They are absolutely incredible school. I mean, we went to loads of different places like Lord Taverner's to do table cricket. And we've done so many other stuff with boccia as well. And as the thing, they didn't judge, which obviously, as they're a special needs school, they have the understanding of people's disabilities and just accepts them for them, not because of their disability, but just for them as a human being. And that should be in schools, colleges and universities. They should be based on their knowledge, and if they need help, they should be able to get that sort of support if needed.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I'm really pleased to hear that you've had such a positive experience there. So I do spend, I'm an associate governor at the Sir Bobby Robson School in Ipswich, and I've seen the difference that they've made. A large number of young people there who have had a very negative experience of education have gone there, and all of a sudden they're getting a positive experience of education, and I've seen lives transform there. But I think you're right. I think often we hear about need for more specialists, and of course we need more specialists, but it's that general awareness that you've just touched upon. General awareness amongst the teaching body. So yes, when it comes to those who are teaching, we need to have specialists, but we need to make sure that the general teachers, when they're doing their teacher training, there's more emphasis put upon disabilities and understanding different people, different disabilities and neurodiversity. But you're right to also be touching upon those at school as well, pupils and students, and them themselves having more awareness of difference. Because special schools are brilliant, and for many people, special schools are appropriate and right. But we also have a large number of people with disabilities who are still in a mainstream setting. So we need to have more first-class special schools, but we also need to make sure that we have better support in mainstream schools, better units, better awareness in those schools as well. Because the other problem is, since I've been the MP, we've had 2 new special schools in Ipswich, with Woodbridge Road Academy and also Sir Bobby Robson School, and they're great for those who are able to get a place. But there's still major demand for places, and there aren't enough places to hand out to everyone who can benefit from it. And there's things, about the way that we fund education. Suffolk in particular doesn't get a fair deal when it comes to the way that we fund special educational needs. And I've spoken to a lot of head teachers of special schools in Ipswich, and I've sat down with them, and they've got the figures out. And we're getting young people with special educational needs in Suffolk are getting less money per head than young people with special educational needs in other parts of the country. And why is that fair? Why should young people with special educational needs in Suffolk get any less money per head than any other? I mean, I don't want young people with special educational needs in London and Norfolk and Essex to get any less money. I just want,
but it should be equal, because we're meant to be equal rights.
Yeah,
but it should be equal straight away, because they're meant to be treating us like everyone else. But with that, it clearly, I'm sorry, when I get passionate about certain subjects, and I mean disability awareness and making awareness out there, and a lot of other stuff I focus on, I fixate. And I mean, I have so many things I could say to that. And I mean, we should be equal with all of it. We're meant to be having equal rights. We're meant to have all of this sorted out. But the thing is, right, is that people shouldn't fight for the equal rights and stuff. They should be able to have that with being equal, because funding's there for a reason, but unfortunately with some places they're not funded correctly.
And the sad thing is, Jake, that you've done incredible things, and you've shown great talent and drive and determination to do what you've done. I ended up getting the support that I needed to achieve things at school and go on to university. But sadly, there are huge numbers of people in Suffolk, up and down the country, who have got disabilities like you, like me, who are not achieving their full potential, and they're not feeling great about life. And that's sad, but I think there have been some improvements. I think it was probably, my dad, for example, I'm pretty sure he's got the same issues I've got, but he was never diagnosed at all. Whereas at least I did. I mean, I know lots of people don't. And I know that, in schools in Ipswich, when I visit them, there's some really good things happening. Like, for example, Clifford Road Primary School, they've got a dyslexia specialist who can pretty much work out within hours whether somebody's got dyslexia or not. And I look at some of the things that are happening at Sir Bobby Robson School, but at the same time, we should never stop. We should never stop campaigning until everyone who has got the sort of disabilities that we have achieves their full potential and gets the support they need to do that. And there are still huge numbers of young people who aren't, and actually adults as well. I mean, look at the number of autistic adults who aren't in work, who could be in work. There's large numbers of autistic adults, or adults who have got disabilities, who they're not achieving things when they could be if they got the support. So I think we need to, as well as looking at education, we also need to look at things like the Department for Work and Pensions, job centres, what they're doing to support adults with special educational needs. I think we need to talk about support at further education colleges, not just at schools. Suffolk New College, for example, in Ipswich, have got a really good inclusion team there.
That's what I'm on. I'm actually doing a course there. I'm doing another
really?
course.
Well,
I've had a fantastic experience, and it was more because I went to a previous college, and it was okay, but this college has literally boosted the energy out of me even more so because I've got the qualifications, and I've got 23 qualifications in my name at the moment. Wow. But I've been working so hard to try and get to where I am now. And to be honest with you, is that I had a PC when I was really young. Because I got it from my dad, and my dad likes computers and stuff. And me and my twin brother, I'm better with software because I've done a lot of software stuff, but my brother's good with hardware more than I am. But the thing is, right, is that we all have different things we love doing. And I'm a twin as well. So it's quite a coincidence, isn't it? But also, I got another slogan, which is we're born to shine bright, because we all are born to shine bright. And it'd just be great to see that potential into a lot of people, because people get bullied because of they're trying to show off because they know what they're doing in some cases. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, well done, that's good.
Your venom, keep it shut. I hate it when you hiss and preach about your new messiah, cause your theories catch fire. I can't find your silver lining. I don't mean to judge, but when you read your speech, it's tiring. Enough is enough. I'm covering my ears like a kid. When our worlds collide, I'm gonna drown you out before I lose my mind. I can't find your silver lining. I don't mean to judge, but when you read your speech, it's tiring. Enough is enough. I'm covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la. Turning up the volume when you speak, cause if my heart can't stop it, I'll find a way to rock
So we're sat on a bench just outside the village hall in Brent Ely in rural Suffolk. We're somewhere near Lavenham. Quite how near, I'm not sure, because it's a very beautiful but rural part of the county. We've got stunning buildings around us. As we've been sat here, Jake, we've got swifts just swooping around us. There's obviously some good nesting spots nearby.
Yeah, it's absolutely lovely, especially when you wake up, you hear the lovely birds, and especially at 5 a.m. But either way, it's certainly a lovely place. It's nice and calm and just relaxing, and you can do it's quite fantastic, right? You don't see as many as a lot of people like would do in London or other places, and the interesting part is you see a lot of dog walkers nowadays, which is quite amusing because the only people you see day-to-day life, which is lovely.
So we've had a programme about the work that you do on TikTok to share your day-to-day life, but also have conversations with people about your disabilities, their disabilities, positive things that you can do, or that reinforcing that positive message. We've heard from your friend Debs earlier on in the show, and also you've done a brilliant interview with Ipswich MP Tom Hunt, and he's talking about the challenges that he had at school and how that's informed his campaigning. There's lots of things to do and lots of progress to be made. I guess the theme all the way through this is your positivity. And again, if people have a look at your TikToks or go to the website understandingaboutdisabilities.co.uk, they'll see you with a smile on your face. I'm sure there are days when it is tough and when that smile is harder to bring. What are your coping strategies? What do you do to kind of regulate and stay positive?
Well, talking on live helps in so many different ways, and listening to music. With me, it's them as well as gaming and just watching TV and trying to put a smile on people's faces, which is part of I love doing, and it put a smile on my face in the end.
And if the Prime Minister popped round, sat on the bench here, had a look at the Swift swooping past and said, I can do one thing for you, Jake, what would you like the powers that be to address?
Well, I want to get the website out there even more, because that would show a lot of things which I created myself. I created the website by myself, I pay for the website by myself. The QR code with the t-shirts is also being paid for by myself, because that QR code doesn't just do one the link, it actually does multiple ones, which is all of my social media, my website, and I love technology as software mainly, and I find it fascinating how it's helped me in so many different ways, because I had a computer at a young age as well. So I've learnt from all different ways of coping, and as a lot of people do know, I can't write that well either, but I certainly give it a good shot, because I believe there is a positive way of looking at it, and at least you've tried your best, and that's what everyone would say.
So we could give the Prime Minister one of your t-shirts, can't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would do. Yeah. That would do. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, Jake. Thank you very much for coming on the radio and talking about your story. And I expect to see you probably at number 10 meeting the Prime Minister at some point. But keep up with that positive message. People can find you very easily on TikTok and Instagram.
Yep.
So it's Jake Lazell.
Yep, Jake Lazell, and if you type that in, you're on TikTok and search, you can find us, or if it's Jake 861, that you can access that, or even just put disability awareness either way, you'll find us either way. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and obviously TikTok, but we're on quite a lot of social media already, but we're trying to build it up and get it out there, and because we do quite a lot as well. We normally do lives, and the thing is, is that I do all of the stuff myself, the designing of the website and everything else, because I care about people with disabilities in all different ways, if it's hidden or physical, and seeing the brighter side instead of seeing the negative side, because it's easy to go down that road. But it's a part of your life which you are born to shine bright, and no one can change that at all.
Oh, that's a sentiment echoed in our final song choice tonight. This is Queen, and Don't Stop Me Now.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, Jake.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive, and the world I'm turning inside out. Yeah. I'm floating around in ecstasy. So don't stop me now. Having a good time, having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. Supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me yes, now. I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all. Yeah. I'm a rocket ship on my way to Mars on a collision course. I'm a satellite, I'm out of control. I'm a sex machine ready to reload, like an atom bomb about to explode. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic woman of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey! Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop yes, I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
Off they go. Queen and Don't Stop Me Now. Wouldn't dream of it. On the Tuesday takeover. Thank you very much to Jake Lazelle there for conversations, interviews and some excellent song choices, including that one at the end. If you want to find out more about what he's up to, understanding about disabilities, or one word, .co.uk is the website, and he's very prolific on TikTok. If that is your thing, at Jakey, Jakey 681. On TikTok. He's got quite a few thousand followers, so he does lives and things. You can get involved with that. He's also on Instagram as well. So thank you very much to Jake Lazelle for his Tuesday takeover.